Hi, my name's Hazel. I'm a nutritional therapist and I'm based in the southwest of England. This is my final presentation for the sports nutrition course that I've been doing, and I just want to talk you through my meal plan for the day and why I've chosen what I've chosen. So you have to bear with me because I will have to just sort of keep referring to my notes so I can remember the recipes that I put together. But really my main aim was mental clarity. So I don't have any big athletic goals at the moment. What I'm striving for is really just to improve my energy consistently on a daily basis, because my day is quite busy and I just need to get that right first in order to have the extra energy in which to pursue my fitness goals, which are to do more running and cycling. So it was interesting to learn through the course that makes me a level 3 because it's low intensity, long duration, and I hadn't really thought of my day like that, but I am on my feet all day. I literally hit the ground running when I get up, and I don't stop until late in the evening. So it was really interesting to kind of change my view on my day and really think a bit more about fueling myself up properly for that, beyond just having kind of 3 healthy meals. So this has been a really enlightening process for me. So I really want to supernourish myself with as much plant-based goodness as I can kind of possibly squeeze in, because we all hear about, the 5 a day, but that's what you need for minimum health, and I want to be as healthy as possible. So in order to achieve that, it's really good to kind of pack as much nutrition into your day as possible, in a format that it's very easy for your body to digest and absorb, and that will then increase your mental clarity and your performance as well. So every day when I get up in the morning, I always start the day with a couple of large glasses of water, and I put about the fresh juice of about 1/4 of a lemon in each glass, and just a little pinch of Celtic sea salt. And I find that combination really works for me, just to help flush through the kidneys and the colon and start the hydration process. And funny enough, I don't like the lemon on its own, and I don't like the salt on its own, but in combination together they really work for me, and they really help to wake me up. And I've actually got really low blood pressure, so I find having some extra salt really helps. And the Celtic sea salt comes from the salt marshes in France, so it's got a really good trace mineral profile, particularly iodine, which can be quite deficient in our diet, and that's really important for a healthy functioning thyroid. Now, I've really got back into doing smoothies on this course. I'd really found that I'd been cutting fruit out of my diet, perhaps way too much really. So the base that really works for me for the smoothie is the dates and the oats and the half a banana, because that's just a good mix of quick and slow releasing energy. And then to my smoothie that I created for myself, I added some almond nut butter, just for the taste, to be honest. I really like the flavour of it, and add some protein and some good fats. And then I also put a good tablespoonful of cracked hemp, and hemp is a really good plant-based source of protein. It contains all the essential amino acids, and it's also rich in omega-3s and omega-6s. And when you get the cracked hemp, you'll see that it's just got a little bit of green in it, so it means it's got some chlorophyll, so it just makes it actually quite an alkalizing form of protein, especially when you compare it to all the animal sources of protein, which are very, very acid forming and very hard on the body. So as well as that, I also sneak in a teaspoon of nori powder, because I find the seaweeds are really useful to just get more trace minerals in, especially the electrolytes, and more chlorophyll in, and again, just that very, very slight salty flavour works well for me with the sugars. It helps to kind of balance the flavours out. So I also put in a teaspoon of maca, and maca is an adaptogenic, so it really helps to stabilise your cortisol levels, so it doesn't matter if it's too high or too low, it just brings things in balance. And the more balanced your cortisol is, the better your body is going to perform, it's going to recover better, you're going to get a deeper sleep, and it also kind of puts you more in a fat burning mode rather than a fat storing mode. And happy adrenal glands also mean happy estrogen and progesterone levels, which for me is very important. So added to that, I've put some pumpkin seeds in, and pumpkin seeds I didn't realise were a good source of iron. So in order to get the best levels of iron out of the foods, it's good to balance them with a source of vitamin C, and that's where my lovely berries come in. So the berries again are another source of carbohydrate, and they taste delicious, and because they're so darkly coloured it means they're packed full of antioxidants. And we're just coming into autumn here, so I foraged some blackberries, really lovely juicy blackberries, so that made it a really beautiful dark colour, and it made it very fresh and very seasonal, which really ticks two big boxes for me. And then I put a little bit of coconut oil in as well, because being a level 3, it means that I need to train my body to burn fats more as a fuel. So, you know, kind of having maybe less on the carbohydrates and making sure there's some good sources of fat in there. And coconut kind of gets a bad press sometimes, and I think it's just very misunderstood. It's a medium chain triglyceride, and it's a very, very clean burning fuel. So if for anyone wanting to improve their performance, it's a good one to add. Okay, so one of my main requirements in the morning really is just to keep hydrated, because once I've had breakfast, I then generally on a school day have to walk my little one to school, then take the dog for a walk, and then get ready for my clients. And sometimes things run a little bit back to back, so one of my main priorities really is to keep hydrated throughout the morning. So I put together a drink that I could prepare in the morning when I'm making my breakfast smoothie, and just have it ready to drink between clients. And essentially it's just the juice of a lime whizzed down with a cup of water and a cup of coconut water. And again, I put some dulse in, because dulse is also a really good source of protein, as well as high in chlorophyll. But you could use any green powder. You could use wheatgrass powder or green barley grass powder. So just effectively any greens that you've got to hand. And then I put in a tablespoonful of chia seeds and a handful of fresh mint and whizzed it down. And the mint is just a really nice herb. It's good for digestion and it's good for mental clarity, so that's why I thought it'd be helpful to add it in. And it's a flavour that I really enjoy. And the chia seeds just help to add a little bit of substance to the drink, and they're a really fantastic source of omega-3s. And they're what we call a mucilaginous herb, so when they're soaked they get a jelly-like coating, and this helps to lubricate the intestines and speed the waste through the body. So from a digestive point of view, it's a really useful one to have. And then I am hoping to join a cycle club. I am going to join a cycle club. So that means once a week I'll be doing an intense bike ride of a morning. So I thought that I could perhaps then switch this drink to more of a 4-1 recovery drink, just by adding some fruit into it, maybe some papaya and some pineapple, and maybe some ground seeds. There's a tiny bit of protein, but it's mainly carbs, just to get the glycogen back into the muscle stores again. I really prefer to be guided by my appetite to a certain extent. So some days I find I'm hungrier than others, just depending on other factors, such as you know, maybe where I am in my cycle, or how busy the day has been, or certainly how cold the weather is. That makes a really big bearing. So the great thing with all the recipes we've been doing on the course, it just means I've got a ready stash of energy bars in the freezer, and I've also got a dried mix as well of different nuts and seeds and berries, so things like dried mulberries and dried goji berries. So if that's not quite enough and I feel a little bit hungry, I can just easily grab something else. And then for lunch, again, lunch for me needs to be quite easily digested because I don't always have a long lunch break. And, you know, if you have a big meal, it just means that all of the blood goes to your digestive system. So, you know, it leaves your legs and arms. So it's not good if you're trying to recover after exercise. It can lead to muscle cramps. And also, you know, if you've got all of that blood sitting in your digestive system, it can actually make you feel quite uncomfortable. It's like that post-Christmas dinner sleep, and obviously I don't want to feel sleepy after my meal. I want to feel energized. So for this meal I choose a soup. So what I do quite often do as well is maybe have more of a kind of a granola based breakfast and then have my smoothie at lunchtime. But if I've had a smoothie for breakfast, and that certainly seems to be working well for me at the moment, then a soup is a perfect choice for lunchtime. And the one I've made has got butternut squash, lentils, and ginger and tomatoes. So again, it'd be a good one if I've done the bike ride in the morning to come back to, because it's got the antioxidants in it from the beta carotene. The tomatoes contain lycopene, which is really good for your cardiovascular system, and the ginger is anti-inflammatory, and then there's some protein from the lentils for repair. The recipe makes a big quantity, because whenever I'm doing anything like soups, you know, I just want to make a massive quantity, so I've got plenty in the freezer. And also that means I can get a bit of variety in as well, because I don't like eating the same thing all the time. So soups really work well for me. So mid-afternoon, that's when sometimes I kind of get more of my hungry phase, really. I think the mornings are just so busy, but then come late afternoon, that's when maybe I'm tailing things down with clients, and I'm having to go and get my little one from school, and if I don't get my timings right then, it can sometimes make for a little bit of an unhappy dinner time, which nobody wants. Because, you know, I do find my blood sugar levels can crash quite quickly, so that's why I have to be really, really mindful. So the plan is to make sure that I have a snack before I do the school run and the dog walk. And what I've made is some crackers that have some little bit of vegetables in, so they've got some flavour, but they're predominantly flax seeds. So flax seeds are, again, really one of the superfoods in that they pack a punch with the nutrition that they provide. And again, I can make a big batch of them and have them ready on hand. And what I chose to make with it was the avocado creme fraiche, because that was just absolutely delicious. And I was really surprised when I made it the first time how long it keeps in the fridge. You know, it certainly keeps for a good sort of 2 or 3 days. And avocados are just a good source of good fats. And they're rich in enzymes as well, so they're good for a happy digestive system. And I didn't change the recipe that much. I used, instead of olive oil, I used the special EFA blend. So that's just got hemp oil, flax oil and pumpkin oil, so it's just got some extra nutrients with that. Just kind of, you know, again, bumps up the quantity of nutrition in there. I like having the miso and the apple cider vinegar in, because they're fermented foods, and fermented foods again are really good for your digestive tract. And with the apple cider vinegar, I always make sure that I get the raw unpasteurised one that's got what they call a mother in, and that's where you look at it and it kind of maybe looks like a little bit cloudy. So never be concerned about that. That's actually really good stuff in there. It's a really good source of beneficial bacteria. But then what I did do is just add a little bit of sunflower butter to it, again, just to kind of bump up the the good fat content, since kind of realising on this course that I maybe need to just get a little bit of those fats into the diet. And then for dinner, I do actually generally quite like to eat fairly lightly for dinner time, and I've really enjoyed the salads that we've done. I think my salads in the past were a bit, you know, aimless, really, to be honest. Not really thinking about textures and flavours or anything. So it's been really great to learn how to kind of build the flavours and build the textures and kind of yeah, just sort of pile it up so it looks really interesting. And in a salad, I really enjoy the combination of fruits and salad items. So, you know, the more you can tantalise your taste buds, then, you know, you're just eating with joy and harmony. And again, that makes for a happy digestive system. So for this one, I used apples because we're coming into autumn. So apples are nice and autumnal, and I've still got some courgettes left in the garden. So I sliced them both very, very thinly. So the courgettes made lovely long strips, which kind of just wrapped around and folded up, and the apple, the round apple slices just look really pretty. And then I caramelised some walnuts by soaking them in water, and then mix them with a little bit of agave and a few chili flakes, and then popping them in the dehydrator. So that just added some texture, some crunch, some protein. I did think I could probably also add maybe some of the feta cheese to that we made, perhaps using Brazil nuts. And also if I was having a, you know, a hungrier day, I could add some quinoa to it. So I usually keep a tub of cooked quinoa in the fridge, you know, because it's just handy to add to whatever, you know, if you're just kind of feeling hungry and you want more of a substantial base to something. Okay, oh yeah, and of course I put it on a bed of dark leaves because it's really important to get those dark green leafy veg into the diet. They're very, very alkalising, they're rich in minerals, and they're also, again, a good source of protein, kind of a very overlooked source of protein. And I made quite a citrusy dressing to go with the dinner because it just made it, you know, much more fresh and zesty. And again, with salad dressings, I try and make up more of a quantity than what I need because it just makes it an easy base to throw a quick salad together the next day. And then because I do eat quite early in the evening, I find it's been really helpful having a little bit of something later on in the evening. It just really helps me to go into a deeper sleep. And, you know, I have had a lot of sleep problems over the years. I used to be a really bad insomniac, so preserving my sleep is really important to me, and that's what really helps my day to go well the next day. I can tell if I haven't fueled myself up properly because it just throws everything out the next day. So it's really, really worth paying attention to it. So what I like to end the day with is a cup of Serenity tea, and Serenity tea is a blend of adaptogenic herbs. So it's really calming, and I have it with a little bit of almond milk, and I call it my hug in a mug. And it's a really nice thing to sit down to once the children are settled. And then to go with it, I made some little cocoa and coconut bites, and I love the combination of cocoa and coconut. So, you know, for me it just feels like a treat, but it's also got Brazil nuts in it. And the reason I chose Brazil nuts, I could have put any nut in really, and it does work well actually with the almond pulp if you've made almond milk. But I particularly chose Brazil nuts because they're rich in selenium, and selenium is very deficient in the soil in the southwest, and it's a really important component of the antioxidant system. And also it's rich in tryptophan, and tryptophan is the precursor to serotonin, and serotonin is the kind of feel-good, you know, relaxing neurotransmitter. So it's a nice one to have in the evening. And yeah, that's it. So I've been playing around with that. It's been working really well for me, and you know, it is just for me, having so many things prepared, it just means I've got the balance of all that fresh stuff in the fridge and some dehydrated stuff like the crackers, and things in the freezer like the energy bars. So it just makes it so much easier to continue a plant-based way of eating. And you know, if it makes you feel good, why wouldn't you want to do it? You know, I don't just want to live, I want to live well. So it's going to really help me to fulfill all the things that I want to achieve. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed listening to that. Thank you.